curry that's too bland, comes out too thin, or has tasteless vegetables? I am here to help. I make this curry all the time, and so I'm gonna teach you all the tips and tricks you need to make this foolproof recipe. This decadent curry is warm, fragrant, and deeply comforting. It's the kind of dish that feels nourishing and indulgent at the same time. Welcome back to my kitchen. Let's get started. Some ingredients like tofu and eggplant that I'm gonna use today, as well as zucchini, benefit from being prepared beforehand and then added to the curry. Think of them as flavor boosters. They take some of the curry flavor, but they also need to give. I have this beautiful eggplant here, and I'm gonna chop these into cubes, and we are going to roast them in a 450 oven. Now, some of you may not like eggplant, but this roasting technique is the trick to make it super tasty. You are gonna love eggplant after this. This roasting improves the texture of the eggplant, so you're not gonna get super squishy, kind of weird eggplant. And it brings the toastiness from the roast into the curry. I'm adding this eggplant to the pan. Be sure to put parchment paper on the bottom. It makes cleanup way easier. I like to dress my roasted vegetables on the pan, so it makes cleanup super easy. Just add some olive oil, mix it up so it's well coated. Just spread them out evenly. Sprinkle a bit of salt. The idea is that these already taste great when you add them to the curry. Now this goes into the oven for 30 minutes. And what you want to do is flip the eggplant at the 20-minute mark. Eggplant is done roasting, and what you're looking for is the dark golden edges on the eggplant. And just keep these aside until the curry is ready. All right, now we're gonna prep our tofu. So this may seem counterintuitive, but we are going to boil the tofu. And this does two things. It draws out the water from the tofu, so you don't have to press it. You'll notice I'm not doing that. So when the water gets taken out, it creates a firmer texture that won't break apart in the curry, and it helps it absorb the curry flavor because now the tofu's ready to absorb all of the sauce. So just cut it into cubes like this. All right, into our pot of boiling water. And these only need 5 minutes, and then we'll pull them out. All right, let's scoop out our tofu. We're gonna keep it in a bowl until the curry is ready for it. Okay, we're officially gonna start our curry. It begins with prepping your aromatics. So I have an onion here, and I am going to dice half of this. So grab your Dutch oven, put it on medium heat, and no curry is complete without ghee. So we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons. So if you didn't know, ghee is just clarified butter. So it's butter that's been cooked and the dairy solids have been taken out of it. So ghee will burn at a much higher temperature and is great for cooking instead of regular butter. Add our onions. Cook these onions for about 10 minutes on that medium heat. You don't want to immediately brown the onions. You want to sweat them out so they can develop really nice flavor and bring some of that sweetness out. These onions are looking beautiful. They're golden color. That's what you want. Next step is to add 2 tablespoons of garlic and 2 tablespoons of ginger. You may think that's a lot, but the curry, you either go big or go home. The best curries are full of flavor. And what we're doing is developing flavor with this aromatic base. If your curry has been bland, chances are you didn't spend enough time developing this base. So cook this for 1 to 2 minutes until it's very fragrant. Next is a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. When you cut both ends, then you can just push one side all the way through and you get all of the tomato paste without fussing with a spoon. Mix this with your onions and garlic and ginger and cook for about a minute. What you're doing is cooking out the metallic taste of the tomato paste and bringing a deeper flavor to the party. Now we're gonna mix our spices. It starts with a teaspoon of garam masala, which is really a mixture of a ton of spices, half a teaspoon of turmeric, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm using cayenne. There are tons of beautiful Indian peppers you could use, a teaspoon of coriander, and a teaspoon of cumin. Mix this all together. Oh, it's so beautiful. You know, if you wanted to take a shortcut, you could use a pre-made curry mix. That works great too. Then add this beautiful spice mixture into your paste and toast that for about a minute. Afterwards, this completes your onion tomato masala. In a way, this is very similar to a French mirepoix. So this is the base that really gives all of the flavor. And you'll smell all of those beautiful spices, the coriander in particular. And don't worry if you start to get darkening on the bottom with that fond. All it is flavor. And this is what you want, this dark color. Then take a splash of chicken broth. I'd say half a cup, and you're gonna use that to deglaze the bottom of the pan and get up all that flavor. Now it's time to add all of our ingredients. This is a can of garbanzo beans that I've rinsed, our roasted eggplant, our prepared tofu. Look at how firm that is. That is what boiling does. Now I'm gonna add the rest of the liquid. So I had 4 cups of chicken broth in total. But why I added all of the add-ins first is the liquid should just come up to the top of your ingredients. So I did use about 4 cups. You might use a little less or a little bit more. And just get all of these guys underneath, lightly mix your sauce into your broth. You could use vegetable broth as well if you wanted this completely veggie. Now bring this up to a boil and then we're gonna let it simmer for 10 minutes. We're also going to season with salt for the first time. This is the first round. So give it a hefty seasoning. Remember, there's a lot of ingredients in there and a lot of liquid. So one of the other symptoms of a bland curry is not salting correctly. While this is simmering, we are gonna prep our cashew cream, which is the secret technique, not so secret, to making curry this luxurious, thick texture. This paste is a 1-to-1 mixture of cashews and coconut cream. Do not get coconut milk. This cream is thicker. As you can see, look at what's happened. This has happened every time I buy coconut cream from Trader Joe's, is that the solids are on top and the liquid is at the bottom. You can totally make it work. Just kind of eyeball it and add both the solid and the liquid. But I don't love that about Trader Joe's coconut cream. It's a lot better if you get cream from an Asian market. And a cup of unsalted raw cashews. Again, it's a 1-to-1 mixture. If you're making more or less of this curry, just scale it to whatever you made. And blend it with your food processor until it's very fine. Once it's blended up, take a look at it, push any cashews down. You do want it to be pretty smooth. So what you see here is a little too thick. So what I like to do is just add a splash of water and then keep blending till it's very smooth. And this is the consistency you're looking for. It's almost like whipped. Turn down the heat on your curry before adding our delicious cashew paste. So not only will this thicken your curry, but it brings such a richness from those cashews and coconut. And just mix this around and you will see the curry transform into this delicious, creamy sauce. Now, you don't want to let this boil because the paste can separate a little bit. It's no big deal if that happens. The taste is the same, but it looks a little better if you can keep the heat down. I'm going to add my frozen peas. I have a cup. I didn't want to add those earlier because peas tend to overcook and I didn't want them to be too mushy. So mix that in and just let this simmer for about 5 minutes. The final step is to add a sprinkle of kasuri methi. Now this is dried fenugreek, and this adds a subtle bitterness that really brings out the flavor of the curry. You only want to add it at the end. I'm going to add just a little bit more. I kind of like to see it within the sauce. Do a final taste test. I think it needs a little more salt. What I really look for is on the back end, if that flavor persists. And if it kind of goes dull, that's how I know I need a little more salt. Because these flavors are going to be really intense at first, but you want to look for that aftertaste. Turn off the heat and you are done. I'm so excited to eat this. It's plated. I'm so excited to dig in. Oh, it smells incredible, especially with fresh rice. Ooh, if I had naan bread, even better. That's so good. The texture of that tofu is divine. It's there, it's creamy, but it's still firm enough where you feel like you're really biting into something. Oh, the heat from the chili pepper, I feel so just warm and comforted. Let's try some eggplant. It just melts in your mouth, but you don't get any of that weird eggplant texture. This is so delicious. And with the tips I taught you, you can absolutely make this at home. It is foolproof and delivers every time. It's creamy, it's fatty, it is just like the perfect dish. If you enjoyed this recipe, give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more delicious recipes just like this one. Thank you so much for hanging with me in my kitchen. I'll see you next week. Happy cooking and eating. That's so good.